It is now almost 2 months since the people of this country began to put up with restrictions on their freedom, your freedom, of a kind that we have never seen before in peace or war.
Hey folks, welcome to the video for this week. It's a bit of a strange one. Northern Ireland has had its lockdown extended and we're a little bit gutted by that. We were hoping that we were going to start seeing the measures lifted a little bit like the rest of the UK, or at least like England. They've got businesses going back to work and stuff like that there, so we were hoping to have that here, but we haven't. We've got lockdown until the end of May, so basically another 3 weeks. We're a little bit over it, the kids are over it, and yeah, missing family, it is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, and thanks for watching, thanks for your support, I hope you're all well. Did you see Sam's web shop has gone live?
No. Were you planning to?
Yeah, it is. Knackered after the time. I'm just joking. I'm a running Henri.
Oh yeah?
I'm
definitely not.
You can see my physique. I'm a seasoned runner. All of 3.5 Ks the other day.
More than I do.
Pardon?
More than I do.
It's funny, I was messaging about
About what?
I was messaging Neil, my brother, because he runs loads. Like what did you do recently? Did you do a full marathon or a half marathon? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But it was at least half a marathon, Reading half marathon I think it was, recently. It was like tipping it down with rain and stuff. But he'll often do like, once a week he'll do like an 8k run or like a 10k run or something like that. And it's such a weird thing when you run consistently, because you don't, like, I've not felt myself get, like, you don't hit like a certain point and you're like, oh yeah, now I'm fit, I can do this type thing. But consistently your pace goes up and what you can withstand and stuff like that. It's quite strange. I don't know. I have no point to the story, but apart from that, like when I first started, like every 500 meters or whatever, be stopping, and then now I can, depends on the day and how tired I'm and how I've slept and whether I've stretched or whatever. Go a bit further.
I've never run enough to ever know the difference.
Yeah, my thing is that I've always wanted to run.
Why?
Like I don't know.
Why?
When I look at people when they're like doing like these huge runs, like 20 Ks, or like they just go and run for like 3 hours straight, I've never been able to do that.
It's not something I aspire to. I mean, I admire them for doing that, but it's still something I don't wish I could do. I would much rather, I don't know, for me, it's not something that I aspire to. I don't know. I think I look at like people that are strong and I would more aspire to do that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just me personally. I hate running so much that it's not something I ever aspire to.
Yeah. Snacks. I don't know.
I can much prefer doing like HIIT workouts and stuff than I do trying to do running. I hate running so much.
No, I kind of like both.
I'd much prefer HIIT. Give me HIIT stuff.
I aspire to be strong and fit, but I don't know, there's something intriguing about just that, like long distance running.
Nope.
I don't know.
For me.
Interesting. So, but I've run consistently every other day since the start of April. Since, in fact, the end of March. So, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Basically, like, who just talks about stuff that they do all the time? Vegans, runners, who else? Probably get some
Gamers?
funny comments. Gamers, do they? Not really. TikTokers, I feel, maybe. Vloggers. They're the worst. Vloggers. Flippin' always talking about blogging. This one time on my blog. They are the worst. So another 3 weeks of lockdown, thanks to our power-hungry Northern Ireland devolved government. living the dream.
I was so gutted when they said that. I just so gutted for another 3 weeks of doing this.
Yeah. I did contemplate, I was like, we could probably get away with getting the ferry over to England.
Yeah, but then we'd be stuck
And
there
staying
for
with family.
however long.
Yeah. Well, my thing was, I was like, well, to be honest, it's actually quite a selfish thought, because I was like,
Impose on the family.
it would be great, like getting a bit of help with the kids and stuff, but then I was like, could you imagine having to subject all of those people that did not choose to have, well, they did kind of indirectly, but not, yeah. I was like, no, we'll just keep kids contained in a little house in East Belfast.
Yeah, and also I think it's too much disruption for the kids again, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if we were
it'd
there
be
for
pretty
months,
hectic.
I don't think that I think
Yeah.
they're struggling enough. What Jax is struggling enough with it is already, let alone
Yeah.
moving them over.
And we'd be stuck in a room, just the four of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Hectic.
I mean, it's small here, but, you know, at least we
Yeah.
have our own. We have 2 rooms to split between.
Yeah.
Not that that ends up
No.
staying throughout the night anyway.
When did we just start sharing a room? I mean, I might just put this futon up and then just come and crash up here.
Thanks, leave me to deal with the kids in the night.
Well, I'll
sure.
bring Liliana with me up here. She'll be fine.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. But I think Jax is jealous in that way.
Oh,
That Lily is in our bed. Whenever he
Yeah.
comes in, Lily is in our bed.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah,
can't
good.
very well tell him that he
No.
can't, because Lily's there too. So I
Yeah.
think he gets jealous. And also because we've been in the habit of me putting him to sleep, lying with him to sleep, that
Yeah.
he, when he wakes up and nobody's with him, you know, there's those two things together, I think. So I think we should just get a bigger bed.
Yeah.
But I don't sleep well when I'm between the two of them, because I'm always in an awkward position and very aware of both of them, because they both want to be on me, that I have no space. Like, they both want to be right up against me. I'm sandwiched between 2 kids, and I just don't sleep. That's why I leave and go and sleep in Jackson's bed sometimes. It's preferable.
And then Liliana sleeps on top of Jackson,
Oh gosh.
thinking that it's you, and then he has a fit.
Oh, and Lily always cries for me whenever she wakes up as well. But she sleeps longer if I'm in the bed.
29 last year of... What do you call your 20s? Because
What do you mean, would you call your 20s?
29 is like your last year of your 20s. So it's like, are you proper adulting when you're 20? 20s? In your 20s?
I don't know.
Probably. Maybe.
Do you ever feel like you're
Dunno.
properly adulting?
It was funny. I was asking a few people today. I was like, what's one thing that you learned in your 20s, or what surprised you about adulting?
Mhm.
And Tim messaged me back, and he was like, that nobody actually has it all together or knows what they're
Yeah,
doing.
nope.
It's like when you're a teenager and you look up to people and it's like, oh yeah, they're like going somewhere or
Yeah.
super successful or anything like that. Pretty much everyone's just hacking it and
Yeah.
and just hoping that it works out,
Mhm.
type thing.
Yeah, because I think when you're younger, you idolise your parents and you think
Yeah.
that they know exactly what they're doing and they've got it all together. But now being a parent, you're like, I don't have a flipping clue. We're adults, we have to look after these 2 children? Okay.
Keep them alive.
Yoo-hoo. Yeah, some days more successfully than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's your birthday again?
If after 10 years you don't know that,
Still
you've got a
one of the
problem.
biggest mistakes of my life is flipping getting married. The
They're like completely
the day
different.
where the number is like a day
Oh.
before yours, 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, but they're completely different.
Foolish decision.
No, oh.
It's a foolish decision. The number of times I have to really think, I'm like, 23rd, 24th, which month do they belong to? Which one is Rihanna's? It's
Wow.
a very foolish decision on my part. Yeah.
For the longest time, I couldn't tell my mum's and I couldn't remember which way around my mum and my sister was, because they're 3
Yeah.
days apart.
I mean, even when we were married, I was still reminding you.
Were you?
I'm just joking. No, I'm joking.
Do you feel old?
Do I feel old?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Nearly 30.
Yeah, yes and no. Sometimes my body feels old. But I think that's a combination of just lack of sleep and probably not
prolonged
really
lack of sleep.
looking after stuff as well as I should have. It's like imagine like
Lockdown has made our
pretty
eating
much-
habits 10 times worse.
Yeah. Although not really. Like the last 2 or 3 weeks, mine's been pretty good in terms of like during the week having smoothies for breakfast and cutting out carbs pretty much completely.
Yeah, no, but
Big
the
thing
amount
is
of
just
chocolate
sugar.
and things that we eat.
It's the
That's
sugar.
what I mean. It's the chocolate and the
Yeah.
sweet things and
But
the
I actually
puddings in the
find-
evening.
But I feel worse with carbs than sugar.
Mm.
So like I feel like, not that I should, but I feel like I would feel better not eating carbs. I don't know. I just don't. I think maybe gluten intolerance or something. But I don't feel great if I have carbs every day, like pasta and processed carbs. But yeah. So going back to your question, do I feel old? I feel tired, and
But that might just be the phase of life that we're in. That we haven't had decent sleep for 3 years. That's probably.
yeah, maybe. But otherwise, not really. Kind of, I guess, have a lot more wisdom and understanding of life, but still feel like I did when I was 18 in terms of wanting to see the world.
I said that to V earlier. I still feel like I'm 18 sometimes. I still feel like.
Well, I heard somebody, I can't remember who it was. I listened to a really good audiobook. I just finished it last night actually. It's I can't remember the title. John Mark Comer. And it's something like The Ruthless Elimination of Rush. And he has a phrase in there, and it's something along the lines of like, in your 20s you have all the time but no resources like money and whatever, and then when you're older you have no time but all the resources, in the sense that you have, by the time you're 40 you've probably close to paying off your mortgage or a good part of the way there, and probably have a decent job or a couple of businesses or whatever, more financially stable you'd hope to be, but you're just flat out busy, or at least the status quo.
Didn't he? Isn't it him? Was it him that wrote another book about fighting busy? What was? I can't remember. What.
Yeah, he's a minimalist now.
But what was this book called again?
The Ruthless Elimination of Rush.
So he's talking about rushing, not necessarily being.
Oh
busy.
no, just like cramming your life. So he
Did
got
you
to the
learn
point.
anything?
Yeah, loads.
Are you going to
I
stop
don't know.
cramming your life?
I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Ask me next year when I'm 30.
Okay.
I'll I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those books I'm going to listen to again. But it's also one of those books where it feels like it almost feels unattainable in terms of like, it's, you know, when something's really challenging, but at the same time it's like, wow, the idea of that right now is like, I just can't even see how I could.
What is the?
Well, he pretty much got to the point where he had burnt out so badly that he then needed to take like a sabbatical. So he took like a year or more off completely to like recover from the point he'd got to.
So many leaders do get to that point.
Yeah, and then now lives such a much simpler life.
But what does simple look like?
Oh, like just cutting out way more of what he was doing. Like purposefully walking slowly, purposefully taking the longest queue in the supermarket so that he has more time to think, and not just pulling his phone out when he's in that queue type thing. And like those are just small examples of like the type of lifestyle changes, just like changing everything. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't know, I'm still trying to get my head around it, because like if you take like wedding videography or elopement videography, for example, in order to, so let's just say if you looked at it objectively, like as a source of income, you need to shoot a certain amount to earn a certain amount to live, right? So you have a threshold that you need to live. So in order to shoot less, you got to charge more. So either you need to become better at selling, or your product needs to improve so that you can charge more. One of those two options. And both of those take time. So like in order to get better at selling, you probably need to put more effort into the actual selling part. Spending more time talking to clients, trying to convince them to buy your product, etc., etc. Even just training in terms of the art of selling, like how to word things, working really hard at like your website and SEO and all that sort of stuff, which is all really time consuming stuff. And vice versa, but also at the same time as landing those sales, in order to charge more for your product has to get better. So the films would have to be better, and I think you'd probably just have to spend more time on each film to make it better. I don't know. Those are the type of thoughts that I have going through my head when I read that book. I'm like, how would I actually implement? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem is for you is that it's not just, you don't have just weddings and elopements to just focus on. That is not your sole focus. Not your sole focus. That
as an example.
So your time is split between so many things that it's hard to put more into any of them to get anywhere. Yeah, because you're so split between everything.
And so the moral of the story is,
you need to cut some stuff out of your life.
Should we stop vlogging? Stop the vlog. The last one. Tune in next week for no more vlogs. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's also the season that we're in with the kids, because the kids, the age that they are, is just time consuming and all consuming. They're very demanding at the moment. I think as they get older, things will change.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do they? We haven't experienced all the kids yet, but you know, when they can go to the toilet by themselves and do all that kind of stuff, get their own breakfast, surely they'll get a little bit easier at that point.
Liliana has gone into the bad habit of pouring a flippin' cereal out.
Don't let her. Watch her.
Well, the thing is, I can't always do that though. Like this morning, I literally put her in the thing, put her cereal down, went to get Jax's because he came down after her, and I was literally I'd prepared his just in case he changed his mind of what he wanted, and literally I went from putting her in the thing, pouring his milk, grabbing his bowl and going into the dining room, and it was already all over. It takes seconds, And I was like, okay, fantastic. Yeah.
Kids.
It was pretty funny.
Jackson got a dirty cup from the side earlier and was like, he poured a drink into it himself. He poured his own milk on the cup of the fridge and did it himself. And I'm like, Jax, that cup is dirty. He just didn't care. He was like, totally just didn't even. He was like, no, it's not. Anyway, how to convince a toddler of something that they refuse to believe.
It's funny. Anyway, great chat. We should probably go and crack on with some stuff. Need to.
The never-ending list of things that need to be done.
Yeah, I feel like my list grows. I should eliminate some stuff. Eliminate some rush. Go for a run.
Stop putting pressure on yourself.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's see. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate the support and everything. And we'll see you. Who knows? Maybe the vlog's finished. I'm just joking. We'll see you next week. I'm going to do it then. No. Not done yet.